Good afternoon, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and today I'm here to answer a challenge from Brian LCS, who recently did a video on his channel highlighting his 10 favorite Spider-Man covers, or at least 10 favorite covers. They don't have to be his top 10 favorite, but they're 10 favorites amongst his collection. I am here to do that today, but I'm not doing just 10 covers because Brian LCS is not the boss of me. Showing what I want to show, do what I want. Take that, Brian. We're seeing some Spideys. And of course, I'm picking on Brian. But my purpose with this is to show some oddball covers, right? The covers people don't think of when they think of Spider-Man. Everyone thinks of ASM 300 and Secret Wars 8. And of course, I do love the Secret Wars 8 cover. Mine is currently out getting graded, so I can't wait to get that back and see what kind of grade I got. I do think it's one of those classics. The ASM 300 I've seen so much, I just don't need to see it anymore. But it's also a book I don't own, which I used to have 4 or 5 copies of back in the 90s, back when it first came out. And of course, you move, you sell things, and I think I sold my whole Spider-Man collection back then for a couple $100 to help cover moving expenses. You know, we all have our regretful stories in comics and collecting, right? It's just part of the hobby. Well, I have a bunch of oddball covers that are Spider-Man that I love, that I want to share with you guys today. They're not going to be the norm, and I hope that makes it a little bit more fun for everybody out there. Because why do you want to look at the same old Spider-Man covers over and over again? Now, a couple of these, of course, we will have seen before, but let's get into it. Let's look at some odd covers. Maybe I'll show you something you haven't seen before. Maybe you've seen them all before anyway, because you're that big a Spider-Man collector. But without further ado, let's get into the covers. First up, a great little tiny book. Emerald Bubblegum back in the day. They had a series of mini comics, and they had a Spider-Woman one, which is my favorite one, a Hulk, Captain America, Archie, Sabrina, of course, Spider-Man. And we have none other than a classic mini-comic with Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus on the cover to kick us off. And it's a fun read, it's a great little book, and it's one I've read over and over. It's just 10 pages. Simple storytelling, infinitely enjoyable though, and just a piece of nostalgia that if you read it back then when it first came out, really takes you back, and it's a lot of fun. So there we go, we're starting it out with a mini comic. Hope you guys enjoy that. Then we're going to get into a promotional comic, and this has a bunch of great heroes, and it's one of my favorite covers, and this was the 7-Eleven comic. So, really cool cover, really cheeseball story, but it's super fun. The kind of story where a whole building gets picked up, sat back down, and still operates just fine. It's okay, there was no problems with it. But, anyway, the kind of cheese you like to read. When you're looking for cheesy, this one will fill that quota all day long. But, a lot of fun, and I just love those type of books. Now, here's another one, too, that you guys may or may not have seen. But this is Spidey Super Stories, and this was with Marvel Comics and the Electric Company. And this is really one of my favorite covers, and it's all new, 36 pages with no ads. 32 cents, 35 cents back in the day, issue 32, Spidey Super Stories, featuring Spider-Woman. Just another fantastic cover. And I remember, as a little kid, watching the Electric Company just for a little Spider-Man section. As bad and as cheesy as it was, I absolutely loved it and adored it. And this connects me to that. Plus, it has Jessica Drew on the cover, which is just an all-day sell to me. So there we go. Spidey Super Stories, number 32. Next, let's stick with Jessica Drew. We have Spider-Woman at last, face-to-face with Spider-Man, 40 cents, issue number 20 of her original series, and a great issue to boot. Just absolutely amazing. And, you know, I think this book, last I looked, was around the $20 mark. So it's still affordable. But these old series are starting to pick up. And as I'm looking at this, I see that I need to put it in a new bag. But, so we'll fix that before I put it back away. And then, these next two were gifts to me, which make them special. From Dan Can over at Out of the Panel Comics. But one of my favorite characters of all time in comics history is Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. So we have the Sensational Spider-Man number 29 with the Black Cat pouncing on Spider-Man. And just a great little cover, super fun. You got her face in the shadows. And then you got the Spider-Man magazine with his spider senses tingling, amongst other things. And him and the Black Cat are having a good time on the cover. So, super fun cover. A little romance going on. Then, of course, we have Firestar's first appearance in comics. I also have her first appearance in Marvel Continuity in the X-Men book. But that's not what this is about today. So here we go. I'm going to send this baby off to CBCS and get her graded. I've had it for a long time in my collection. One of my favorite books. Big Firestar fan. And I grew up with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I absolutely love that cheesy cornball show. I just watched it all again recently, and it's just great nostalgia. But of course, we also have the second printing of it. So just great cover. This cover, of course, this one was by the second printing's by Ron Frenz. First printing, the cover is by John Romita Jr. And that one needs a new bag as well. It's been in that bag for a couple years. Then we get to some Michael Turner goodness, and that is, of course, Spider-Man Red Sonja 5 of 5. And just another nice cover. Then, moving along, you can't talk Spider-Man without talking Marvel Team Up, right? His Team Up book. And when you think of Spider-Man, you always think of him working alongside other heroes anyway. So one of my favorite stories is this Xandu story with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Just a great cover. And one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all. I really like it when him and Doctor Strange get together. It was always a fun read for me. So there we go. And then, of course, we have Spider-Man and Red Sonja. And I was going to get the Marvel Tales out. That is the reprint of this. But it's the same exact cover that they used in the Marvel Tales, so I didn't bother. So Marvel Tales has this cover, and of course Marvel Team Up has this cover. You got Spider-Man, Red Sonja, who has taken possession of Mary Jane's body and projected herself there through the magic of a sword in the modern times. And they have to face off against Cool and Gath. So great cover. Absolutely love this. Cover art also, guys, by John Byrne. You know, and the story inside is Chris Claremont and John Byrne. With the interior pencils are John Byrne and Terry Austin on inks in there. Just a great stuff. Alright, and then another favorite. Everyone knows I'm a Woman of Marvel guy, and that one of my favorite Women of Marvel, besides Carol Danvers, besides Jessica Drew, besides Felicia Hardy, is Allison Blair, the Dazzler. Alright, so we have Marvel Team Up 109. We got 5 crispy copies of this. We have the Whitman variant. Plus we have 3 newsstands. And we'll just condense it here so you can get a good look at the cover. Just a fun cover. Dazzler going ham and sending everybody sprawling. We also have Paladin on the cover. And of course you guys know, you already saw Red Sonja. You know I like my Barbarians. Marvel Team Up 112 with Spider-Man and Co. And 3 of those. We got 2 newsstand and 1 direct market. And again, another favorite issue of mine. Spider-Man, King Cole, Marvel makes it work somehow, and it's all great fun. And I don't know, pure magic to me. Next up, this is just a great cover. Spider-Man's in some trouble here. Alright, you got Spider-Man and the Man-Thing, Marvel Team Up 122. A cover that I always found quite striking. One, I'm a big Man-Thing fan. I think he's a great character. Underutilized. But I understand. It's hard to write something that doesn't talk, right? And but Spider-Man definitely not having the best day on this cover. And it really works. It's a lot of fun and really draws you in to buy the issue. And then, of course, Spider-Man teaming up with another one of my favorites is Tigra. Alright, so here we go. Another John Romita Jr. cover. So, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Tigra. You got it all going here. Fun issue. Next, we're going to go to Marvel Tales, which is, of course, the reprint magazine. So, these next two are two of my all-time favorite Todd McFarlane covers. I don't know, I just love them. I'm probably the only one that does. But issue number 230, Spider-Man and the Dazzler. And I was like, wow, Spider-Man and the Dazzler, such a dynamic cover. It cannot get any better than this cover of Spider-Man with Dazzler. And then Todd proved me wrong. And we got Critical Mess. A Spider-Man Dazzler cover that I like even more than the last one. Just a beauty of a cover, so much going on, and absolutely love this cover. It's one of my favorites for sure. Next, we have an Ash Can edition, which I got out of a Yeah Man, I Got Comics mystery box. Super cool, and of course, right here, the Amazing Spider-Man. It's a nice little Ash can with him and a bunch of villains. Carnage, Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Cardiac. So just great stuff. Then we have another Todd McFarlane cover, one you guys may or may not have ever seen. And I know a few of you out there have because we've talked about it with each other. But this is The Amazing Spider-Man Skating on Thin Ice, the PSA comic about drugs and smoking and kids making good choices. They're at the hockey rink. Todd McFarlane cover. Hard to find issue. And just a great cover altogether. Now, like I said, I'm showing the oddball issues that people don't normally see. Why not? They're fun, right? Why show the same old as everybody else? Next, we have a Spider-Man family. And I believe this was a Target exclusive. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it or hold me to it. But again, you have Firestar on it, so it's immediately one of my favorites. You gotta love Angelica Jones. So just great. You also had Spider-Man 2099, Iceman. You had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends all over it. Of course, I told you guys I'm a Felicia Hardy fan. So, of course, this is one of the ones that everybody knows. ASM 194, Spider-Man, first appearance of the Black Cat, with one of his most iconic covers to me, personally. I remember when I was a kid and had this cover just blew my mind. I couldn't wait to find out about the Black Cat and Spider-Man and the spotlight. Just everything about this cover worked for me. So there we go. Now this is got a lot of spine ticks on it. It's seen some love. I think I'm finally going to send this out and just preserve it as it is and get it graded, because why not? Next up, we have a couple European magazines. So this is 10 pence, and these just had reprints of Spider-Man in them. So we have Super Spider-Man 262, 10 pence, with also featured Captain America in the Red Skull in this issue. But we had Molten Man and Spider-Man fighting Molten Man. I think I need a new bag on this one too. So great little issue. Awesome cover. I love the big magazine style format size. Just makes it all the better to me. Then, number 256, Super Spider-Man 10 pence. Menace is the man called Morbius, and this cover I absolutely love. Just great. Everything about this cover screams Bronze Age to me, and that's my age of comics, man. I love it. So guys, give you a second to drink it in. And Morbius is a great character. Unfortunately, I hear the movie's just dreadful garbage, which is unfortunate because he is such a good character. But now I don't have the first print of this, and it's out of my price range now. But I do have 2 second prints of Amazing Spider-Man 101, the first appearance of Michael Morbius. You know, Spider-Man getting a little bitch slapped by Morbius on the cover there, so I'm probably going to send this one out to get graded too. I have other reprints of it, so just a classic cover. I love the silver on these reprints. Next up, Spider-Man. Like I said, Spider-Man's a team-up character. He's always better with other people, usually, right? It's fun, his interactions. And, of course, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 9 with the first appearance of Carol Danvers in her Captain Marvel uniform. A fun cover. Terry Dodson and Terry and Rachel Dodson, I should say. They usually work as a team. Just a great cover and a fun read. It's more of a kid-friendly book, this one. When you read this story, a lot of fun. Then we're getting to a really cool cover, and this is a signature verified. This is Spider-Man number 1. This was from the recent J.J. and Henry Abrams run, which was not the best miniseries, but this Clayton Crane cover is absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best Spider-Man covers ever, in my opinion. And, of course, you have his signature right here, looking absolutely incredible. And, wow, what a cover. And then, to end it off, we got a first print and a second print. And this is ASM 265. The first appearance of Silver Sable, and of course you had the Black Fox appearing in it. And I just love the angle on this, and you have Spider-Man in the black suit. Great angle, great action going on. And again, I think the silver of these second prints really pops. But 2 fun issues. I mean, two fun slabs of the same issue, just first and second print. And that's it, guys. That is some of my favorite Spider-Man covers. Like I said, I still have some out at CBCS getting graded, which will come back, so I couldn't include those today. But I think I included enough. Hopefully I showed you something you haven't seen before, something new, something refreshing, something odd you didn't know existed. Let me know what you think of these covers in the description, in the comments below. Did I show you anything new? Do you have those or any of those amongst your favorites? Brian, thanks for bringing up the cover challenge. Appreciate it, bud. And until next time, guys, keep it casual.